Before we start, if you love heartwarming and inspiring stories, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more incredible stories every day. You won't want to miss what happens next. Rain tapped lightly against the window of a small, cluttered apartment. Inside, Evan hunched over his battered acoustic guitar, fingers scraping nervously against the strings. He sighed, staring at the pile of bills on the table. Another rejection, he muttered to himself, tossing an envelope aside. How am I supposed to make it? Every single place says no. His roommate, Lila, peeked in from the doorway, holding 2 mugs of lukewarm coffee. "Hey, you okay?" she asked, setting one down beside him. Evan shook his head, frustration written across his face. "I just can't catch a break, Lila. I've been playing gigs for years, submitting demos everywhere, and nothing." "Nothing." Lila hesitated before sitting down. "Maybe it's not about how hard you're trying. Maybe it's about finding the right opportunity. You know, something unexpected." Evan laughed bitterly. "Unexpected? I wish I knew what that looked like. At this rate, I'll be living in this dump forever, playing for tips from strangers who don't even listen." Lila smiled faintly. "Well, maybe you're closer to it than you think." Evan frowned. "What do you mean?" She slid a small, worn envelope across the table. "I found this in the mail for you. It's addressed to you, but there's no return. Thought you'd want to open it." Evan stared at it, confusion mixing with curiosity. "I didn't order anything. It's probably some scam." Lila shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe it's your unexpected opportunity." He hesitated, then tore it open. Inside was a folded sheet of yellowed paper, covered in handwriting so intricate it looked like art. Evan frowned. He had no idea who could have sent it, or why. As he unfolded it, the words seemed to leap off the page. "To the one who never stops playing, even when the world turns away, follow the music you hear in the quietest places. It will lead you to where you belong." Evan blinked. "What is this?" Lila leaned in. Well, I don't know, but it feels important, doesn't it?" Evan's heart thumped as he read the note again. Somehow it resonated. A spark of hope flickered, fragile but undeniable. He glanced around the apartment, at his old guitar, at the peeling wallpaper, at the tiny, grimy window. And then something odd happened. A faint melody, almost inaudible, drifted from the corner of the room. Evan froze. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Lila nodded slowly. "I think so." The sound was faint, like someone plucking a harp in the distance, yet impossibly real. Evan's pulse quickened. He got to his feet, following the sound as it grew louder, leading him toward the attic hatch in the corner. His hands trembled as he opened it, revealing a narrow staircase that creaked under his weight. "Are you sure this is safe?" Lila asked, voice tight. Evan didn't answer. He climbed anyway. At the top, he discovered a small, hidden room filled with dust and shadows, but also instruments. A grand piano sat in the center, its keys gleaming as if polished yesterday, though the rest of the room looked abandoned for decades. A violin rested on a stand, and shelves were lined with sheet music, yellowed but intact. This can't be real," Evan breathed. "Looks like a secret music room," Lila whispered, awed. Evan sat at the piano and pressed a key. The note resonated perfectly, ringing through the room with a warmth he had never heard before. He closed his eyes and began to play, letting the melody flow naturally, guided by some unseen force. Each note seemed to lift the weight from his shoulders. Lila watched, silent, sensing the magic in the air. Hours passed like minutes, and when Evan finally looked up, the first light of dawn was streaming through a small, dusty window. He felt different, changed, alive. Then, as he explored the room, he discovered a small, locked chest tucked beneath a pile of old blankets. Curiosity tugged at him. He tried the latch. It clicked open easily. Inside were dozens of handwritten compositions, some dated back decades, all of them remarkable in their skill and beauty. Lila leaned over his shoulder. These are incredible. Whoever wrote these, they must have been a genius." Evan picked up one of the sheets, scanning the notes. The more he read, the more he felt inspired. It was like each piece was speaking to him, teaching him not just music but life. He realized these weren't just compositions. They were a map, a guide, something meant to be discovered by the right person at the right time. Then, from the far corner of the attic, he noticed a small, round mirror, foggy with age. As he approached it, he saw a reflection, not his own, but a shadowy figure of a man playing a violin, as if inviting him to continue the music. Evan gasped and stepped back, unsure if he had imagined it, but the sense of destiny was undeniable. "Lila, I think this place was meant for me," he whispered. She nodded. "I think it was, but maybe it's just the beginning." The morning sunlight streamed across the instruments, casting golden beams through the dust motes floating in the air. Evan ran his fingers over the piano keys again, feeling the warmth of hope and possibility for the first time in years. He didn't know who had sent the mysterious letter or why this secret room had appeared just when he needed it most. But he felt ready to embrace the adventure, the music, and whatever lay ahead. He didn't realize that as he played, faint echoes of another melody began to drift through the room, a melody that wasn't coming from him. Something or someone was listening. And perhaps, just perhaps, that would lead him to a discovery far beyond anything he had ever imagined. Evan could hardly sleep that night. Every corner of his small apartment seemed dull and lifeless compared to the attic room and the music that had filled it. He kept replaying the melodies in his mind, feeling as if they were a secret message, a puzzle meant for him alone. The next morning, he returned to the attic. Lila followed, holding 2 mugs of coffee. "You really think we should be up here again?" she asked, trying to mask her curiosity with caution. Evan didn't answer. He was already opening the chest, sifting through the compositions. One sheet caught his eye, an unfamiliar symbol at the top, shaped like a crescent entwined with a musical note. "Lila, look at this," he said, his voice trembling. She leaned over. That's beautiful. But what does it mean?" "I don't know yet," Evan admitted, "but it feels important. I think it's a clue." Hours turned into days. Evan spent every free moment in the attic, deciphering the notes and playing the music. Something extraordinary began to happen. Whenever he played a piece with the crescent symbol, the room seemed to hum, almost as if responding to him. The lights flickered slightly, shadows danced across the walls, and sometimes faint whispers echoed, soft, encouraging, almost human. Then one evening, as Evan played a particularly haunting melody, he noticed a hidden panel in the corner of the room. It was almost invisible, blending perfectly with the wall. His heart raced as he pressed against it, and it swung open to reveal a narrow staircase leading downward. "Down there?" Lila asked, hesitant. Evan nodded, gripping a flashlight. "I have to see where this leads. It feels like it's connected to the music, to everything." The staircase descended into darkness, the air growing cooler and heavy with the scent of old wood and earth. At the bottom, they discovered a cavernous chamber, unlike anything Evan had ever imagined. Instruments of every kind lined the walls: guitars, harps, violins, flutes, and in the center, a strange pedestal with a glowing sheet of music hovering above it. "This is unreal," Lila whispered, eyes wide. Evan approached, feeling drawn to the glowing sheet. The notes on the paper seemed to shift and dance as he neared it, forming a melody that resonated deep within him. He touched the paper, and immediately a vision overtook him. He saw a man, tall and shadowed, playing a violin in a grand hall. The music was unlike anything Evan had ever heard, vibrant, alive, almost as if it were shaping the air itself. The man stopped and looked directly at Evan. Though his features were obscured, Evan felt a deep connection. This was someone who had been waiting for him. The vision faded, leaving Evan breathless. Did you see that?" he gasped to Lila. She nodded slowly, equally stunned. I I don't know what it means, but I think you're meant for something big. Over the next several days, Evan experimented with the mysterious compositions. He discovered that each piece revealed hidden patterns, secret messages, and even coordinates, clues that hinted at a larger world beyond his own. One map led him to an abandoned theater in the city, where he found carvings that matched the symbols in the music. As Evan pieced together the clues, a new character entered the story, a mysterious woman named Isabella, who claimed to know the origins of the music. She was elegant, enigmatic, and seemed to appear wherever Evan went. "You're closer than you realize," she told him cryptically. "But the path isn't safe. You must choose carefully whom you trust." Evan's heart raced. Who could he trust? Lila was loyal and brave, but the sense of magic surrounding the music, and now Isabella, made him question everything he knew. One night, as Evan practiced a particularly intricate melody, the air around him shimmered. Notes lifted from the piano, forming glowing symbols that floated into the air, weaving together into a doorway. Through it, he glimpsed a city bathed in golden light, a place of beauty and power beyond imagination. Is that real?" Lila whispered, trembling. Evan didn't answer. He knew he had a choice: remain in the safety of the ordinary world or step through the music and discover a life that could change everything. As the glow faded, a soft note lingered in the air, like a gentle call, urging him forward. And deep inside, Evan felt it. This was only the beginning. The music had opened a door, and beyond it lay secrets, challenges, and adventures he had never dreamed possible. But danger also awaited. Somewhere, someone, or something was watching. Shadows stirred in the corners, and the whispers of the music hinted at more than inspiration. There were warnings embedded in the melodies, hints of trials that would test him to his very core. Evan turned to Lila. "Are you ready?" he asked, determination in his eyes. She nodded. "I've got your back." And with that, Evan took the first step toward the unknown, feeling the thrill of adventure and the weight of destiny pressing against him. The secret music room had revealed its mysteries, but the real journey, filled with wonder, danger, and unimaginable discovery, was just beginning. Evan felt the glow of the mysterious doorway pulse against his chest, as if the music itself was urging him forward. Lila squeezed his hand. "Together?" she asked, a mix of excitement and fear in her voice. "Together," Evan replied, and with a deep breath, they stepped through the luminous portal. The world beyond the doorway was unlike anything they had ever imagined. Golden streets shimmered under a sky painted in deep purples and fiery oranges. Buildings towered in impossible shapes, twisting toward the clouds, while fountains sang melodies that matched the music Evan had discovered. Floating lights danced like fireflies, illuminating a city that seemed alive, aware, almost sentient. This is incredible," Lila whispered, awestruck. Evan's eyes scanned the streets, noticing that the symbols from the music were etched into the walls, on bridges, even carved into the shimmering pathways. Every corner of the city whispered secrets, stories, and hidden messages. Suddenly, Isabella appeared beside them, her presence radiant and commanding. "Welcome to Orleans," she said. "This city has existed in secret for centuries, built by those who understood the power of music. Only a chosen few can find it, and only those with purpose can unlock its secrets." "Purpose?" Evan asked, still trying to absorb the splendor around him. "Yes," Isabella replied. "The music you discovered isn't just notes on a page. It's a key, a guide. Each melody reveals paths, choices, and challenges. You've been tested already, but the greatest test is ahead." As they walked deeper into the city, the streets shifted subtly, leading them to a grand hall filled with instruments that glowed with ethereal energy. A shadowed figure emerged from the back, a man in a flowing coat, his face partially hidden. The air thickened with tension. You've done well to come this far, the man said. His voice resonated like a bass note vibrating through the room. But can you master the music fully? Can you harmonize with the city's spirit, or will you fail? Evan stepped forward, trembling but determined. We have to try. I've come this far. I won't turn back. The shadowed man nodded and motioned to the instruments. Each note Evan played resonated with the city, causing the streets to ripple and the fountains to sing. Lila followed, playing alongside him, her touch gentle yet confident. Together, they wove melodies that echoed across Orleans, filling it with vibrant life. The man's eyes glinted. Good, very good. But one final challenge remains. The instruments began to levitate, forming a vortex of light and sound. Evan and Lila were swept into the center, surrounded by swirling energy. Images flashed before their eyes, visions of past musicians, hidden dangers, and forgotten secrets of the city. Their hearts raced, but their bond and trust in each other held firm. With a final crescendo, Evan struck the central chord, and the energy exploded outward in a brilliant surge of light. The city seemed to exhale, as if acknowledging their mastery. The shadowed man smiled, revealing a kind, aged face. You have done it. Orleans is open to you now, and its music will guide your path. But remember, the true magic isn't in the city alone. It's in the courage, heart, and connection you carry with you. Evan and Lila looked around, awestruck. The city shimmered with a newfound brilliance, and the air hummed with harmony. They had unlocked the secret, but the adventure was far from over. Orleans had many mysteries yet to reveal. As they explored further, they discovered treasures of knowledge, instruments that created miracles, and paths leading to even more magical worlds. The city, alive and conscious, recognized their courage and promised that as long as they trusted in their bond, every secret, challenge, and discovery would be theirs to experience. Finally, as the first golden dawn of Orleans broke over the horizon, Evan turned to Lila. We did it, he said, his voice thick with emotion. Yes, Lila replied, smiling. But this is only the beginning. The two of them stood hand in hand, ready for whatever wonders and challenges awaited in this hidden world. And in that moment, Evan understood the truth Isabella had hinted at all along. The real power of the music wasn't just in unlocking a city. It was in unlocking their courage, their friendship, and a limitless potential within themselves. As the city's melodies faded into the morning light, Evan turned to the viewers, as if speaking through the story itself. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you love this story, please like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible adventures. Every melody, every secret, and every discovery awaits, and we'd love for you to come along.